Sweet June 2010, back at you. I'm just really just bothered about something. Um, uh, Me and my son just got a new truck, a truck, and I was at the Secretary of State. In Michigan, it's called the Secretary of State. In some states, they call it the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles. Michigan, they call it Secretary of State. Um, Helping him get his truck registered, because I was going to pay for him to get it registered so he won't be driving around illegally. And, it was early in the morning and everything. And the man said, and, because I didn't have the cash on me to, pay for however much it was. And I was going to use my debit card. Well, I have a Visa debit card. Then he said, well, we don't take Visa. Well, instantly, for some reason, I just instantly got irritated. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you accept Visa? Everybody takes Visa. Why wouldn't you accept Visa? I'm sorry, I just instantly got an attitude. And I probably shouldn't because I don't like to take things out on service people. I used to be a service person myself, and I try not to do that. But I just instantly got an attitude because, you know, he's like, well, there's an ATM over there. And then, the ATM, if you don't get money out of your bank, it charges you $2.50 or whatever. So I just instantly had an attitude. It's crazy. So, you know, I just, you know, I said something that I shouldn't have said. And, people were staring at me. I got even more irritated when people started staring at me. You know, got even more irritated. Well, anyway, I came back and I apologized to the young man and everything. But anyway, to make a long story short, my son was like, Mom, because we had to go back and um, he had to go back to his apartment and get some things because he didn't have everything he needed. So when I was taking him back, he was like, Mom, basically telling me, don't cause a scene. He said, Mom, don't be a stereotype. He said, don't be a statistic. Just chill out. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Black women aren't allowed to get angry. I said, oh, I forgot all about that. Excuse me. Black women are not. Totally forgot that black women are not allowed to get angry. We don't have the permission to be angry without being perceived. I said, he said, don't be a statistic. I'm like, oh yeah, and then that's what triggered, made me think. Oh, I forgot. Black women are not allowed to get angry. Because then all of a sudden, yeah, we're angry. We're angry black woman and we have an attitude. I said, oh, forgive me. I'm sorry. So it just made me think, after that, I just kind of marinated on that. And I was like, that's crazy. I said, as a black woman, you know, black women, it's like I stated in some of my other blogs, we're human just like every other race of women. We're human beings. And we have the same emotions that everybody else has. And, um, we're women. And we have the same emotions as anybody else. We're human beings. And we're women. And we got the same emotions as anybody else. But when we get angry, everybody else gets angry. It's a normal human emotion. When we get angry, then we're perceived. We're we're looked at as, well, we're bitter. We got an attitude and all this kind of stuff. And you know what? I'm just a little pissed off about that. I'm just a little tired of that. I'm tired of that perception. And it's like, you know, why is it when a black woman gets angry, then we got to be having a bad attitude and all this stuff, and we have to have all these labels? It's crazy. And I don't appreciate it, and I think it's ridiculous. We're just being human. I basically was just having a moment. Um, I was just having a moment. I was a little pissed off that they didn't take Visa because most places do, and I think it was just all the racket just to make money. Now I gotta go out of the ATM and get money and get charged $2.50 because I'm not taking it out of my bank's ATM. Well, I instantly had an attitude. I later came back and I apologized to the young man at the counter. I said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you. I know it's not your fault. And he said, okay. And he accepted my apology. He was real good about it, you know. But, I was just having a moment, you know. I'm kind of going through my change and I'm subject to mood change swings. And then plus it was early in the morning and, I was just basically just having a moment, you know. And, uh, but then people were staring at me, which was predominantly white people there. They were staring at me like I was crazy. Probably thinking, oh, this is black woman in here having a bad, oh, you know. And my son tells me, well, mom, don't be a statistic. I said, oh, I forgot. Black women are not allowed to be angry. That's crazy. You know, that, well, we got to suppress our emotions, you know, because we don't want to be perceived as being having an attitude, a bad attitude, or whatever. Wasn't having a bad attitude. I'm not a person that has a bad attitude. I was just having a moment. I'm just basically being human. I'm a human being. That I have feelings, I have emotions, and to suggest that I just get the impression that as a black woman, I'm not allowed to express myself. I can't fully express myself outside my home without somebody thinking I got a freaking attitude. You know, and it bothers me. You know, that we're not given that permission to be human. It's like almost in a sense is that we don't have permission to be angry. We do. Everybody else. It's okay for everybody else to get mad. It's okay for everybody else to get angry or whatever. But when a black woman get angry, she got a bad attitude. Mm-hmm. She got a bad attitude. Why I gotta have a bad attitude? Because I'm angry. Because I get angry. Because I'm having a moment. Maybe I'm a little tired. I'm having a moment. You know, we have moments too. We're human beings. Like I stated in my other blog, we're human beings. We have the same feelings and same emotions as everybody else. We're no different. But then when a black woman has those emotions, then we're painted a very, very bad picture is painted of us. And this is the problem that I'm having is it just bothers me. You know, it's like when my son said that don't be a statistic. First of all, I'm already a statistic. Whether I get angry or not, I'm already a statistic. I'm already labeled, regardless of whether I have an attitude or not. Okay, because I'm put in a box with the black women that is perceived as having an attitude. I'm put in the same box, the same category. It doesn't seem to matter what I do. And, it's like this crazy. It's really crazy. I used to work in retail. Used to work at a grocery store chain. And up here is uh, in the Midwest. They got Walmart. That's like nationwide. Every state and every city has a Walmart. Well, mainly in the Midwest, it's a store just like Walmart. It's called Myers. It's a store just like Walmart's, but it's a mega superstore just like Walmart's, but it's mainly in the West. And I used to work at this Myers store, and I was a cashier. And of course, we were required to greet the customers, and the protocol, being nice, and greet the customers, and did you find everything you were looking for, and all that stuff, and being pleasant to the customer, which is understandable, and I understand that. I'm a people person, so I had no problems with that. Well, one day, we were required to have this quota. We had this quota. We had to scan 95 items per minute, or I mean, not per minute. Um, we had to have a scanning average of 95%. What they wanted us to. They put a lot of pressure on us to have a scanning average of 95%. From the time we started the order to the time we ended the order, we have to have 95 items percent. That's it's a speed thing. We had to scan so many items you know in so much time, because they want us to be not only nice and courteous and sweet and everything and greet the customer, but they also want us to be fast. Well, one day I guess I was, Saturdays was our busiest day, and trying to meet my quota and everything, so I won't be in the supervisor's office because I didn't get a 95% that week. Just basically trying to, meet my quota, trying to be on my job. I got so preoccupied, and it was Saturday, it was our busiest day. I got so preoccupied, and I think maybe a customer came through, and I might have forgot to greet them, because I was so busy trying to scan and do my job. And wasn't trying to be disrespectful, just trying to, so many customers come through, you're just on the job, you know. So something's going to be lacking. Um, I got reported. They went to the, called and made a complaint on me and said, well, I didn't speak to them. I didn't greet them. And of course, they told it. They threw a couple of lies in there too. Typical. Um, and and she said, well, why you didn't greet the customer? I said, well, I was so busy. I guess I was so busy trying to scan and, trying to, be on the job. I might have forgot to greet the customer. I've told her, I apologized to her. It was humble. So I'm sorry. I probably forgot to greet them in the process of trying to do my job. Well, yeah, and they reported me. These people reported me because I didn't greet them. Basically, like I didn't speak to them. And they told a couple of lies too. Personally, I think it was a race thing, but you know how that is. Anyway, now this other cashier, which is a white young lady, she's in the break room one day and she's talking. She's saying, yeah, this customer came through. I guess it was about some coupons, and she was telling us what she said to the customer, and she got real jazzy too, real jazzy with the customer. Well, you can't use these; they're expired, and she was basically running it down to us what she told the customer and how she was talking to the customer. I looked at her. I said, "You talk to him like that?" She said, "Yeah, yeah, I did." I said, "Girl, they didn't report you?" She said, "No, no, they didn't." I was like, I didn't say it, but I thought to myself, I said, now see, had that been me, I would have been all up in the office. Okay, I said I would have been all up in the office and everything like that. Double standard, double standard. So it's just, basically a white female can go off and just go completely off and get upset. Just like on the job that I'm on now. This white woman there, she turned the place upside down, cussing everybody out. She went off on me. She was going off on another coworker. She went off on a couple other coworkers of mine. They let this go on for over a year, almost 2 years. They let this go on before they finally got rid of her. And the only reason why they finally got rid of her was because one of my coworkers that I was working with was contacting the lawyer because she felt like she was being harassed because they were falling out and everything. This woman, white female, was just going off. Now I said, had that been me, I would have been out the door quicker than anything. Had that been me. So see, black women, we get fairly unlabeled. See, we can't get too upset on the job. Okay, if we get a little upset on the job, we're considered being hostile or have a bad attitude. But then it's okay for white women to rant and wave. They can. This woman was cussing people out, calling people names, everything, and they let this go on for almost 2 years. Now, had that been me, that I would have been out the door with the quickness. You know, it just amazes me that the things that was not tolerated when you're black on the job. I mean, that's another blog, but it just amazes me how when a black woman gets angry, everybody all of a sudden feels so threatened. And oh, she has an attitude and she's a bitter black woman and she's an angry black woman. But it's okay for a white woman to go off. A white woman can go off and probably shoot up the place, and I guess that'd be looked at as okay too. You know, a white woman can go off all day long and have a bad attitude all day long, and it's okay because she's a white woman. She's just venting. But if a black woman do it, people got a serious problem with it. Okay? Now that's not the type of behavior that she was, presenting. That's not appropriate for anybody. That's not appropriate for a black person. No, I don't care what race you are. It's not appropriate for anybody to, talk like that or be like that. But it's just a double standard. This makes me angry because I know that had to been me, I would have lost my job instantly. They wouldn't have. I wouldn't have had too many times to go off on somebody. And see, and this is the double standard, and it makes me mad. It's like you being a black woman. It's like the perception when you can't get angry. Can't get angry because you get angry, all of a sudden you got a bad attitude, or you're a bitter black woman, or you're an angry black woman, and then white people perceive it as they feel threatened. They started all of a sudden feeling threatened by you, and it doesn't make no sense when we're just in most cases we're just being human. I was having a moment, you know, and white people standing in line was looking at me like I was crazy. They looking at me like I was gonna shoot their mama or something. You know. Then I got even more irritated, and I said something I shouldn't have said, but it irritated me even more because I was like, this don't make no sense. You know. And I wasn't yelling or anything. Now, I don't think I was. But and then my son gonna say, "Well, don't be a statistic." Then that's when it dawned on me. Oh yeah, I forgot. I can't. A black woman can't get angry in public. It might have would have called the police on me. Had I got a little bit, had I been a little bit worse, might have would have had the police out there on me. It's a mess. It's a mess, and I just it just bothers me, and I'm sick of it. You know, this is the reason why black women have a high rate of heart diseases and all this kind of stuff. We're trying to suppress our feelings so much. We have to suppress our feelings all the time. It's just crazy. And the same goes for black men. People feel even more threatened by black men. It's crazy. As a black person, you can't even be human anymore. You know, I just want to be human. Can I be a human being? It's okay. Is it okay for me? No, actually, I guess it ain't okay for me to be human. I can be human in my own house, I guess. That's why I come home and I just vent when I'm at home. That way I don't have to worry about nobody's labeling me as an angry black woman or a bitter black woman or bad attitude or what have you. It's crazy. Needs to stop. Stereotypes just needs to stop. I'm sick of them. We're all human beings and we all have the same emotions. Plain and simple, regardless of what race. It's only one race, and that's the human race. Stereotypes just needs to stop. It's horrible. Now, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to vent a little bit. Sweet June 2010.